Hi guys, this is something I've been thinking about for a couple of days. Yesterday I really got to thinking about this, and it's to do with my spending, what I spend on the animals. I'm not talking about drugs, because when it comes to medical care, they get what they need, and there's no question about that. I'm not trying to skimp and cut down on that sort of thing, but I've got to get out of this. I don't know why I've done it. I've got into this whole thing of if there's 3 sheep in the barn, they get half a scoop. If there's 5 sheep, they get a whole scoop of feed. This is ridiculous, because they don't need that amount. I've never weighed their food. I've never done anything like that. It's stupid. And obviously most of the sheep are grass fed anyway, so it's only the few that are in. And I'm thinking, why is it that these 7 sheep at the moment that are living in are getting, between them, I'd say maybe 2 scoops of feed, or scoop and a half, 2 scoops of feed. It's ridiculous. And each scoop's like the internal space of a rugby ball or an American football, or that sort of thing. That's about the amount of food that they're getting. And most of my sheep are the size of a Jack Russell Terrier. I wouldn't feed my dogs that. Would never happen. My horses don't get that much. I'm so on the ball when it comes to feeding my horses, and I don't feed unless they need it. And when they need it, they get as little as they need, and they don't get more. But they don't get excess. Horses don't get more than they need, because their stomachs don't expand. They're not like a human's stomach, where our stomach is like the size of our fist. When's the last time you can remember having a really, really good meal, feeling satisfied when we only had like a fist size amount of food? You don't. So I don't know why with the sheep, I've never even weighed a scoop to find out how much is in it. I've never even read the bags to find out how much they should be getting. It's always just, oh well, these ewes are pregnant, these are units, let's just throw them some units. I've got to stop it. I've got to stop doing it. And what made me think about it was last week I went and bought the bare minimum of their feed to last 2 weeks. And okay, it included the chicken feed, and there were 2 bags of hay for the guinea pigs and rabbits. But I mean, I spent about £80 on that. And I was listening to a podcast today. I've listened to a couple. One that made me really think about this was when I'm in the car at the moment, was when I was driving down here. And that's a podcast called Unpopular Farmer. And it's episode 3, Chasing Unicorns. And that really got me thinking about it. But also another podcast I listened to today, Goldshaw Farms, done by Morgan Gold, and it was talking to Trish at Willow Creek Homestead. And she said, and this made me think that can't be right. She said that she can buy eggs in the store cheaper than she can get them from keeping her own chickens. And I thought, that's silly. That's not right. And then I thought about how much money I spend on layers pellets for my 20-something chickens. There's only 2 of us in the house, and we use less than 10 eggs a week. And the only reason we use this many eggs, because we never used to, is because we've got the chickens here and they're producing eggs. And I'm, listening to these 2 podcasts, it's really, really got me thinking. I've got to stop doing this. I've got to get more in a sensible financial brain, because with horses, they get what they need. That's it. You don't question it, because if you start trying to cut corners with horses, they die. Horses are a giant digestive tract on legs. That's it. That's essentially all horses. And if you try and mess around with their food and scrimping and everything, you end up with problems with the horse. They end up with illnesses. They die. They colic. You know. So you don't skimp on that. And I think with horses, with the sheep, I've just gone completely the opposite way, which is just give them lots of food. And then I'm thinking, why am I spending about £40 a week feeding these animals when most of them don't need what I'm feeding them? Or more to the point, if they need what I'm feeding them, they don't need as much as I'm feeding them. I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. So there's somebody I watch on YouTube and also follow her Instagram. We talk often, actually. She's a very, very good person to speak to about things to do with sheep. Is a woman called Sandy Brock, and her YouTube channel is called Sheepishly Me. Sorry, dry mouth, can't talk. Sheepishly Me. Used to be Brock Sandy, I think it was. She's really, really on the ball with financial matters and things like that when it comes to her sheep. She's got to make a profit. So, and she is the most meticulous person I've ever come across in farming. She's so cutthroat with things. It's, if this sheep doesn't get pregnant, gets 2 chances, doesn't get pregnant, gone. That's her choice. It's her business. It's the way that she does things. It's the way that she makes a living. It's the way that she makes money to feed her family. And she really looks after the animals well. They get everything they need. I mean, her food is just phenomenal, what she feeds them. So when you're looking at somebody like her, who does everything scientifically, meticulously, financially, every detail is micromanaged, and then you look at me who's like, 4 sheep, give them a scoop. I don't know, whatever. I've got to get out of this. I've got to get out of this because I can't be throwing money away for things that the animals don't need. If they need it, they're getting it. If they don't need it, why am I doing this? It's stupid. I'm doing it to satisfy my own brain of make sure they have enough, but I think I'm overcompensating. I'm giving them too much. I've got to stop doing that. These 2 podcasts have given me a lot to think about, and I'm so glad I'm listening to them, both of them. They've both got multiple podcasts up, multiple episodes, and they're well worth going to have a look at, especially if you're thinking of getting animals, or you do have animals and you're spending out extra money on things. I've got to pay attention to this. I've got to do it. I've got to start trying to actually, I'm not going to say make money. It'd be nice to actually break even on my animals. I'm not doing it at the minute. I've got some ideas about that. I'm not selling any for meat, don't worry. But I've got to just stop throwing money after money after money after money, and I've got to streamline it. Streamline, that's it. That's the word.